6 o'clock, and I'm calling the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting of September 21st, 2023 to order.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Roll call. Hector J. Garcia.
Present.
Rolando Cáceres.
Present.
Mike Barón. Manuel A. Rangel.
Present.
Johnny M. Narvaez.
Here.
Yusheng Wang. Here. Regina Portillo. Daniela Salapaz.
Present.
And Mr. Chairman, you do have quorum.
Thank you. May I have a motion to excuse those who are not present today? Have
Second.
a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask that everyone pull their microphones closer so that they can hear?
We're now moving on to the consider approval of minutes of regular meeting of September 7th, 2023.
Motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Do we have any citizens' comments?
No, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
I do have some
Yes,
registration.
Oh, wait.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I do have some registration cards, but I believe they're to the particular
I didn't get it.
items.
Okay.
Going to open up the public hearing and move on to the public hearing and recommendation of an ordinance. Item 6A, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning Lot 7 and Lot 8, Block 2084, Eastern Division, located at 1802 and 1804 Milk Street, from R3 Mixed Residential District to B1 Limited Business District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant is Juan Elias Garcia and William M. Garcia. Owners, Graciela Ojeda is the representative. Property description is Lot 7 and Lot 8, Block 2084, Eastern Division, located at 1802 and 1804 Milk Street. The zone change request is from an R3 to a B1. The proposed use is an auto body repair body shop. Letter sent 1740 against 0. Location view, aerial view, street view, zone change signage, zoning overview, future land use. Apologize, it's stuck. Oh. Staff recommendation, staff does not support the proposed zone change. Proposed motion.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item, please come forward. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak against this item? Does the commission have any questions for staff, or does staff want to give a little background on this?
Do we need to move this? Are we okay with it here? I know you're signaling me, but I don't know what the signal is.
No, we're okay, sir.
Okay, all right. I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
so.
Well, we don't have the applicant here present. I know staff does not support the zone change. I'm not too sure.
Motion to not support ourselves.
Second.
So I have a motion from Commissioner Garcia to not support the proposed zone change, and a second by Commissioner Wang. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries.
So, Mr. Chairman, letter B, that was set there, so if they were to get the zone change, the next step would have been for a conditional use permit.
Okay.
So that item, I guess we can consider that void, or do we still need to open it? It's not eligible, so. If you just want to open that up and make a recommendation, and we can go from there.
Okay. Moving on to item 6B, it's amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by authorizing the issuance of a conditional use permit for an auto body repair body shop on Lot 7 and Lot 8, Block 2084, Eastern Division, located at 1802 and 1804 Milk Street. And then, do we just go ahead
Just
and,
open and close public hearing and then.
so we have a motion, can I have a motion to close public hearing? We have a motion,
Second.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item,
That was recommend denial, right? On that
oh,
one?
can I have a motion of action on this item too, as well, please?
I make a motion to deny the conditional use permit.
We have a motion,
Second.
second by Commissioner Garcia, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 6C, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning Lot 1A, Block 1, Anil and Associates, Phase 1, located at 9110 McPherson Road from B3 Community Business District to B4 Highway Commercial District.
Mr. Chairman, the applicant had asked if we could table this item.
Okay, can I have a motion to table?
Motion to table.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Salazar.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Wang, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 6D, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning Lot 1, Block 288, Eastern Division, located at 801 Clark Boulevard from B1 Limited Business District to B3 Community Business District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant is Roberto Garza, owner. Property description, Lot 1, Block 288, Eastern Division, located at 801 Clark Boulevard. The zone change request is from a B1 to a B3. The proposed use commercial, a freestanding on-premise signage. Letter sent 28, against 1. Background, on September 11 of 2023, an inspection was conducted and revealed a citation was issued at this property due to installing a sign without a permit. Location, aerial view, aerial view, street view, zone change signage, zoning overview, future land use, proposed motion, proposed recommendation, staff does not support the proposed zone change. Proposed motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item? Anyone who wishes to speak against this item? I do have a registration card for Jorge Castillo. If you're present, can you come forward?
Hello, my name is Jorge Castillo, and I live right behind Variety Meats. And if you change it to a B3, that's gonna wreck the whole neighborhood. As it is right now, I'm having problems with them because something happened with the planning there, and all my yard is full of water every time it rains. And I don't know what to do, but supposedly they install a pump to let the water out somewhere. It's killing somebody else, and it's killing me because they tell me to go fishing there any day, whatever, you know. But anyway, it's a B1, a B3. What's a B3? They can do anything, right?
Well,
So
currently-
what's gonna happen to my property there? It's not just gonna flood. It's just gonna do something else. I don't know. So I'm really, really opposed against it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Castillo.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Is the applicant here?
I don't,
No?
no.
I'd like to see if we could table this item, because the issue here is the store would like to put up a sign,
Okay,
and the size of the sign that they want to put up requires that it be a B3 zone. So, you know, we don't necessarily support the B3 zone, but the way the ordinance is, you know, that's the only way they can come to P and Z. We'd like to see if we could table it time certain so that we can just look at it a little bit closer and see how we can accommodate without having to do the
Would-
B3.
would a conditional use permit be appropriate or an option?
That's what we want to research.
Okay,
That was.
Can we just deny this and then go back to the drawing where they can, that way there's no answers to, but they can't move it to.
You can recommend.
Yeah. That way,
So-
that you can negotiate.
If we do
But-
that, doesn't it then go to city council?
That's what
That-
I was gonna say.
That would be their choice. If
Okay.
if they want to go to city council, they can make that call. And hopefully, we might have an answer for them, and if they don't get the answer, they can go to city council.
Okay. Then, let me go ahead and just close public hearing. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak against that has anything different to say, or? No? Okay, can I have a motion?
My motion is to go with the recommendation of the city, do not support.
Okay, so we have a motion not to support the zone change, or recommend not to support the zone change by Commissioner Garcia. A second by Commissioner Rangel. All in favor? Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 6E, amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning lots 3 and 4, block 923, Eastern Division, located at 1715 Rosario Street, from R1 Single Family Residential District to R2 Multifamily Residential District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant Sylvia Guerra, owner applicant Pablo Rios is the representative. The property description, lots 3 and 4, block 923, Eastern Division, located at 1715 Rosario Street. The zone change request is from an R1 to an R2. The proposed use is apartments. Letter sent word 20. Inside the 200-foot notice is 4-0 against 2. Outside notice 4-1 against 0. On the background, on May 7th of 2020, an inspection was conducted and revealed a citation was issued at this property for remodeling block fence, driveway, electrical, and plumbing without a permit. Location view, aerial map, street view, zone change signage, zoning overview, future land use. Staff recommendations, staff does not support the proposed zone change. Proposed motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item, please come forward. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak against this item? Yes, sir. Come forward. And if you could please state your name for the record.
Yeah, Jose Hernandez. I live on 1802 Rosario. This afternoon, I went down the block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, and I asked just about every neighbor. They're all against it. And the reason is because the way they handle it, you know, not getting a permit. They bought the house next to it, and they got the permit for that. And they kind of like said, okay, you know, the neighbor said, I'll show you the house. Okay, next thing you know it, they did 3 units already. It's ready to go, but we're totally against it.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. This is a public hearing. Anyone else who wishes to speak against this item? Do you have a question for staff as far as the background? I did see the May 7th, 2020, there was some citations made. Currently, are there occupants in these houses now, or what's the situation?
My understanding that it's empty right now, but that's all I know. I'm not sure.
And I have a question for legal.
Mhm.
What happens, like, if they did everything without a permit and they already have the 3 structures, and do they just get like a slap on the a slap on the hand, or what do they do? Do we table, do we deny? What do we do? Like, it's a very
You
unique.
said legal.
I know, but it's a very unique, you know.
I guess
That's their issue.
I guess the question is, first of all, they went about the wrong ways to even
Exactly.
do the
They didn't
process.
start.
They are in a single-family residential area. If commission doesn't support, or the commission goes with not supporting the zone change, how do we ensure that they don't rent it or they don't
Rent,
go forward
exactly.
as a multifamily? Is there a way?
I'll answer it. It's an enforcement issue. Well, we can enforce, the city can enforce, and we have the capabilities, and I will do it for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Are there any questions or comments from commission?
No.
If not, what sort of action does the commission not wish to take on this?
I'd like to close the public hearing and make a motion to support the staff recommendation and not approve the the zone change.
Okay,
Second.
so we have a motion by Commissioner Rangel and a second by Commissioner Garcia to not support the proposed zone change. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 6F, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning lots 1, 2, and west 15 feet of Lot 3, Block 1,573, Eastern Division, a subdivision situated in the City of Laredo, Webb County, Texas, located at 2601 Cleveland Street from R2 Multifamily Residential District to B1 Limited Business District.
Mr. Chairman, the applicant asked that if this item could be tabled, please.
Okay. Can I have a motion to table?
Motion to table.
Got a motion? A motion and a second by Commissioner Rangel. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 6G, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning approximately .1476 acres within the city limits of Laredo and Webb County, Texas, being the east of 46.3 feet of Lot 5, Block 426, Eastern Division, recorded in Volume 7, Page 5 of the Webb County Plat Records, located at 3702 Sanders Street from R3 Mixed Residential District to B1 Limited Business District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have Ricardo Kisi as the owner and Juan Garza as the applicant representative. The property location is approximately 0.1476 acres located at 3702 Sanders Street. Zone change request is in R3 to B1. Letter sent, proposed use is manufacturing commercial kitchen. Letter sent 51, none for, none against. Background, on June 26, 2023, an inspection was conducted and revealed a citation was issued at this property due to operating a business without a certificate of occupancy. Location view, aerial view, street view, zone change signage, zoning map, future land use map, and the recommendation is staff does not support, and the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item? In favor?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Juan Garza. I'd like to speak in favor of the proposed zone change for 3702 Sanders. I feel that it is in a very close proximity to all other commercial areas. Just directly north of the building itself is a commercial kitchen currently occupied by Taco Mais. And directly west to us, exactly 1 block away, is a commercial kitchen that's occupied by LISD. I don't see how it can negatively impact the community in any way. Totally opposed to that. I mean, it's bringing the property value a little bit higher. It's putting money into the community. That was a property that was originally purchased back in 2020, and the building itself was originally built or constructed to be a storage, which it served its purpose for quite some time, up until late 2022. There were some changes done there out of necessity. Ricardo Kisi, who owns the Tacos Kisi restaurants, currently employs close to 200 employees, and with the pandemic, their sales went up so much higher than they used to be, so they needed the extra room, the extra space, and basically they sought out to a property that they currently owned. I know the property was cleaned out, or all the furniture and stuff that was in there was taken out to try to make better use of the area. On behalf of Mr. Kisi, I'd like to apologize because he actually did things maybe a little bit backwards than he should have. But we're here to try to make things correctly, try to take the appropriate steps to modify whatever needs to be done according to the city. But as far as the planning or the area itself, I think that it really would not affect anyone around what goes on inside that current building. So that's pretty much it. Thank you.
Are there any questions for the representative from the commission? Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone else who wishes to speak in favor of this item? I do have a registration card from Ms. Vela. If you'd like to come forward.
Good evening, members of the commission. My name is Zita Vela. I'm next door to this proposed kitchen. My husband Tony Vela is here with me. I'm here to strongly disagree with the commercial kitchen that is being that arose next to my home. I also am across the street with rental homes from this kitchen. The kind of business that would most definitely have a negative impact on all of us homeowners and the entire neighborhood. We already have to deal with the overflow of cars parked in front of us almost every Sunday, especially during the holidays, no parking from Las Palmas, which I think that needs to be reviewed. This building is not, this is not a building, this is a storage. My husband's family have owned Tony's Supermarket, so we know about, in this building, it does not. I mean, there will be animals, things will happen, and it will impact me severely. If he would have been on the up and up and not do this clandestinely, I think that everything might have worked out for him. But I strongly disagree with the fact that we should have something commercial. I could have had something commercial done also, but I respected the neighborhood, so that's why I have rental homes. And to have my houses parked with cars all the time, I'm not going to be able to sell. I also need to eat. So, you know, it's, and the fact that he does not have permits, and the fact that I have followed this since the inception of this. I called the office many times. I mean, everything, all my claims went to the wayside. I have documents, I have pictures. They worked all night, all day. They will never follow. Once you open this, this will become a new body of a business. I mean, there's delivery trucks that are on the street. He has lied about the fact that he was just making spices. Also, when I've called to the city and planning, not now, but in the latter years, I came upon inspectors who were just like, as a matter of fact, you know, that they were upgrading things and not noticing. He doesn't even have a water meter. He's running the water from the little house. In all intent, he intended to use the little house to start off the business there. So, I mean, this has been a very hard having to go through, and I was very happy with the fact that you all supported the fact that our neighborhood needs to stay as a neighborhood and be respected as that, when he had all of the opportunities to, and he is not one that should be shy about this. He has 3 businesses, so I'm sure that he knows all of the things that are required, especially permits when you're transporting food from one area to the, it is not permitted. I know that it couldn't happen between 2 stores that were owned by the same people. So, I mean, he is transporting foods. The fact that someone went to check, it is wrong. The information that came out in the news is not wrong, because I was the one making the claims to this, and I was very ill-treated by 311 also, because this could have all stopped September 21st when I made the call. But it was just taken to the wayside. And I was really taken aback by the fact that there were some just bad actors along the way, because this did not have to happen, and the city should not be involved in something such as this. I mean, it's just reckless disregard on his part, when he's a business owner, and he's not just one. He has many businesses. So, and you know, the fact that I've also approached him so that he could talk to us since the inception of this, and he is renegade to do so, I don't think that he shows any goodwill. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Vela. This is a public hearing. Anyone else who wishes to speak against this item, please come forward.
Hello, Diana Hernandez. I don't know if you remember. Diana Hernandez, I don't know if you remember me from the previous meeting. I second everything that Ms. Vela said. You know, all of these things were done not in the proper order. I know that I started calling, my first call was August 20th, not September 20th. That was a whole month prior to. Oh, in August, oh, I thought I heard September 20th. Okay, since August 20th. And after the fire, I mean, you all have a signed affidavit from Mr. Kesey saying that this was going to be solely storage and for personal use, a residential storage. And it says the storage unit that we're building on this property will be used for residential purposes. We have no intention of using it for anything else. And it was never used for residential purposes, I'm sorry. It was always a storage for Tacos Kesey. And then all of a sudden, I don't know how, it became a kitchen and they were cooking there. I know that when they had the fire, it was noted that they did not have a certificate of occupancy. We don't know exactly how all of the permits were given, because the information that he supplied initially said that there was going to be no water, no electricity, and no plumbing, no electricity, and no gas. And apparently they were connected. I don't know if he got the permits. As she said, he is a businessman, he should know. Another thing is that, parking, there is no parking for them. There's usually people, when they were occupying it as a commercial kitchen, there were 7, 8 or more cars, and they were all parked along the side of the street on Sanders, both sides of the street, and on the sidewalk. So if you wanted to walk, you had to get in the middle of the street, because there was no way. They were on the sidewalk. So that's another issue. 18-wheelers. Now we have 18-wheelers going to deliver goods. Cisco goes to deliver in big, huge 18-wheelers. The other day, the 18-wheeler was parked, Sanders is north-south. The 18-wheeler was parked east-west, blocking the entire street because they were delivering goods. So that's another issue. And also, there was one time that an 18-wheeler was going south on Sanders, probably delivered, and he was trying to turn on Travis, and it got stuck because those streets are very narrow. And it got stuck there, and the street again was blocked for like 2 hours or more. So that's a big issue. And property value. So does that mean our property value is going to go up as well? Because that's one thing that Mr. Garza mentioned, right? And I just wanted to let you know that I am opposed to this. And I did have a lot of people who initially had said they were going to be here, but for personal reasons decided against it. And I have their signatures as well, but I'm not going to share it because I called them and I told them, don't worry about it, I'm not going to use your names.
Thank you.
But I mean, I'm not the only one, she's not the only one. I had no idea she was going to be here. But there are other people, residents, people who actually live in the area that are concerned. We also don't want to explode. We don't know that anything is up to code. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. I'll allow for one more speaker. Max is 3 speakers on an item. So if anyone else who would like to speak against this item has anything different or something to say, please come forward.
Pedro Amaro. I'm a resident around there also. I live at 203 Stratus, and I've seen a lot of things there. And basically what it is too much tied up on the streets. It's a safety issue also, because of the fact that there's no walking area, and it's a narrow, more street going in and out. And we don't have anything against the restaurant. It's just the safety of the people that have to go through there. And as Mr. Hernandez said, the streets are very narrow, and it's hard to make turns around there, especially, coming off of the Saunders Street going into Sanders. It's very difficult to make a turn there. especially if you got a truck or a, commercial truck. I'm opposed to this, and again, like I said, it's basically the safety issue that carries around all the neighborhood. And basically, that's what I wanted to say.
Thank you.
All right.
We did hear from 3 people on this item, so we're going to go ahead and move forward. Is there any discussion or questions from the commission on this item? Or the staff want to give any information?
The only thing I would say is, as a municipality, we police the use and where the use is gonna be, and when somebody's building, we do inspections, because at the end of the day, the city gives a certificate of occupancy, which means that it was built under the IBC code and everything was cleared. And we do that for the safety of the people of Laredo. So, we continue to encourage everyone to come in for permits so that we can make sure that whatever's being built is safe and it's built to the standard it should be at. I just wanted to say that.
If there's no questions from the commission, what sort of action would the commission like to take on this item?
Motion to not support.
We have a motion to not,
No.
Recommendation of staff.
the recommendation of not supporting the zone change by Commissioner Garcia. We have a second by Commissioner Rangel. All in favor? Against? Motion carries.
Yo.
Oh,
I'm against.
okay, so I'm sorry.
The only thing I wanted to clarify is I think like the item that was stated before this one, that a lot of people don't know that they have to go in and do certain procedures. I know or certain rules or standards. So I know if I would be a neighbor there and there's a fire and all of that, of course, I would be afraid and of having something like that again. But right now, Mr. I don't remember his name, said he's very, tiene, ¿cómo se dice? Remordimiento y quiere hacer las cosas bien, que no empezó bien. Al principio fue, en el 2020, al principio fue como un storage y se fue creciendo y a lo mejor se le hizo fácil, que no está bien, ¿verdad? Se le hizo fácil convertir en otra cosa y estoy de acuerdo con los vecinos que tienes que seguir y hacer las cosas correctas, pero si tiene la buena intención de acercarse, ¿verdad?, a hacer las cosas bien y que vaya a cumplir con las cosas. A lo mejor, como dicen, oye, me tapa la entrada, pues es decir, buscar un horario, no sé, o sea, buscar un horario, que no vayan los 18-wheelers, o sea, algo, hacer un arreglo para que todos tengan un gana-gana. Eso es lo único que, por eso lo dice.
So just for clarification of vote, there was 5 for and 1
5.
against. Okay. Moving on to item 6H.
Item 6 is the same situation as the other one for a conditional use permit if
Okay.
it would have passed.
All right.
So if you can,
Yes. Item 6H, for the record, is amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by authorizing the issuance of a conditional use permit for manufacturing commercial kitchen on approximately .1476 acres, 6,431 square feet within the city limits of Laredo and Webb County, Texas, being the east 46.3 feet of Lot 5, Block 426, Eastern Division, recorded in Volume 7, Page 5 at the Webb County Plat Records, located at 3702 Sanders Street. And then open the public hearing. I'm gonna have a motion to close public hearing and then can I have a motion of action to,
Make a motion to deny the conditional use permit.
so we have a motion recommendation to deny the conditional use permit,
Second.
and second by Commissioner Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Against?
No, no estoy.
Oh, you're-
Pues si no,
Okay.
si no
So-
pasó, pues
yeah.
no,
Okay.
no.
So, motion carries. Moving on to item 6I, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning approximately 25.150 acre tract of land situated in Porcion 14, Abstract 56, Jose Guajardo, original grantee, within the limits of the City of Laredo in Webb County, Texas. Said 25.150 acre tract being out and part of NDHR Ranch as recorded in volume 303, pages 164 to 172 of the Webb County deed records. Webb County, Texas, located north of Peoples Boulevard and west of Aransas Pass Drive, from B1 Limited Business District and R1 Single Family Residential District to a R1A Single Family Reduced Area District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have NDHR Trust owner, we have Verde Corp as applicant, and Porras Nancha Engineering as representative. Property location, approximately 25.150 acres, located north of Peoples Boulevard and west of Aransas Pass Drive. Zone change request is from an R1 to an R1A. Proposed use is residential. Letters sent were 103, and we have none for, none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing.
Thank you,
Anyone
Mr.
speak
Chairman.
further?
Wayne Nance with Porras Engineering. We're in support of staff's recommendation. We're here to answer any questions you all might have.
Are there any questions?
Yeah, just I mean, why the change? What, you initially were gonna have a commercial and now you're gonna.
This was zoned business long time ago during a different master plan. We've subsequently brought in a revised master plan that this commission has approved that shows this as residential. And as a matter of fact, about a month or two ago, we brought in a preliminary plat for this exact area as a residential subdivision.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak against this item? If not, what sort of action would the commission like to take?
I move to close public hearing and support the zone change.
Okay, we have a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 6J, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning lots 7 and 8, block 817, Eastern Division, located at 1520 Cortez Street from R3 Mixed Residential District to B3 Community Business District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have applicant Julio C. Pequeño as applicant and owner. Property location, lot 7 and 8, block 817, Eastern Division, located at 1520 Cortez Street. Zone change request is from an R3 to a B3. Proposed use is car lot. Letters sent were 40, none for, none against. Location view. Street view, aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff does not support. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item, please come forward.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, my name is Nick Villarreal. I reside in Cortez Street. My wife Sandy and I have lived there for over 50 years. Now, a little bit of the history of this. The previous owner was trying to get the whole area there into a zone or a business zone. And we went before the city council 3 times and it was negated. Now Mr. Pequeño has bought the property and he and I met, and we don't have a problem as long as that lot is in and out on Meadow Street. As long as the house that faces Cortez and that same property does not become business. But the biggest concern we had in the past was because of the traffic that goes through Cortez. They're trying to navigate the traffic light on Market, so they come through Cortez. We don't need any more traffic on there. So as long as it stays on Meadow, we don't have a problem. Mr. Pequeño and I have discussed it, and we don't have a problem with that as long as the house is not commercial.
Okay. Are there any questions?
Quick question. In supporting, can you change the boundaries to just wherever that fence is, that this side does not apply and on the back side? Because right now, this is for the whole property, which I
Right.
would support. But if there's a line saying just the backyard that way is what on the other street, we can consider that, but that's a legal question.
Well, I was just asking, Ms. Guerra, that if, in order to put conditions to it, we'd have to do a conditional use permit. If we just do a zone change, it doesn't allow us to really enforce anything. So, that's where the suggestion you're making, it'd be hard for us to enforce that. Because once he has the B3, there's no real, other than maybe traffic department or somebody, working with them. But,
The better thing to do is pretty much deny this, they have to go back, get a conditional use permit, so you can say this is the boundary, if not, you can say that now, but 3 months later, you say, well, I got the whole place, I can use the whole place if I want.
Yeah.
So,
that would be up to
your own safety-
the applicant, of course.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Pequeño's here.
Question, I got a question for staff. It's currently in R3 and it's being requested to go to B3. Is that, that's 3 jumps? You could still, well, no, for the actual zone change. They can?
There's a limitation.
Okay.
They can go from
All right.
AG to M2.
Okay. This is a,
Because it's a conditional use permit.
But with conditional use permit, there are limitations.
oh,
Ah, okay. Oh, but because it is, you can skip, right?
The zone change you can do.
okay. This is a person, public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item, please come forward.
Good evening, my name is Julio Pequeño Jr., and I'm in favor. This is my property. The reason why I've been trying to change this is because I want to bring a car lot to the area. And the entrance that I have right now at the moment, it's not a business right now, it's residential. Actually, I have 2 houses there, and they're both, I have people renting those 2 houses at the moment. I already put some gate on there where any vehicles in the back can't go through there. So the only way they can go through there, it's through Meadow Street, and it's right next to Sunrise gas station. It's on Meadow, and I don't see why I wouldn't be able to get this through. If through Meadow, there's hundreds of businesses right next to me. Even through Cortez, there's 2 blocks from there, there's a funeral home, there's a park, and there's also a restaurant there. I believe it's a yogurt place or something, but it's a restaurant. So I don't see a reason why it wouldn't go through if I'm through Meadow and Cortez, but it's mostly through Meadow site I'll be using. And if you have any questions, I can try to answer them.
I was gonna ask if you had a plan, but they
Yeah.
put it there.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain the houses or?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Well, that picture that I have right there, it was made on the computer. I tried my best, but next to it, on Market and Meadow, we have the gas station, Sunrise. It's been there for many years.
Okay.
And then it's my property. It's lot 7 and 8, it's right in the corner. Those 2 houses right there on the left side in front of Cortez, it's the same property. And then I have there's already like a metal shed, you can call it, and that's more or less what I wanted to do. It will be a small car lot, maybe 8 cars, maybe 8 or 10 cars to most that can fit in that area. It's a big property, but not enough for a large car lot. But the entrance, as you can see, it's through Meadow, and I already have the gate there. And then I already placed another gate between the house and the rest of the property there. So there's no way we can go through there anymore because I already blocked it. And that's my plan right there. I mean, it's not a piece of art, but I try my best just to give you guys a little heads up. But it's through Meadow. I know the property, the address is on Cortez, but it's that gate will be through Meadow, or it's on Meadow already.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
The only problem that I have with it is, if we change the boundary, and you decide 5 years from now to sell it, somebody else can come in here and use the whole property. Regardless if we tell him to make a deal or not make a deal, they can break it in a month. I prefer that, you know what, just deny, come back with an additional use permit, conditional use permit, and put the boundaries there. I don't have a problem with that, and you're right, that would be perfect, but to give you, in my opinion, to give you permission to, the whole property, I don't know what's gonna happen 3 years from now, 5 years from now, and you have the right to say, hey, I sold it, that's not my property. So, I just, that's thoughts about that. You're
Okay.
right, it's a pretty business in front, but this is gonna give you too much control. That, yeah, you're a good man, and you're saying, I can abide by this, but you might not be the owner for the rest of your life, somebody else might buy it. And then that person can use the whole property.
Okay.
That's my thoughts.
Staff, what would he need to do to get a conditional use permit
permit.
at this point?
He would have to come back to
Do we
the
need to,
planning department and then apply for a conditional use permit.
you know, he can do that in a R3? Do we need to put it in, does it need to be in a
You-
different business zone or anything? No?
A different business owner?
Zone.
Oh, zone.
Zone.
Does it
No,
need
no,
to
no,
go to
he can
B1?
go, he can ask for a B3 use in an R3.
Okay.
Would you be interested in applying for a conditional use permit? So you
Yeah.
can,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Should we recommend him to table this and make it a necessary adjustment so that we don't deny him?
If he doesn't want to go forward, I mean, he does still have the, you know,
I would say take action, because that'll give him the opportunity to think about it. If he wants to do the conditional use permit, he can. If he says, no, I'd rather go to city council and take my chances, he has that opportunity also.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak against this item?
If I may, so what are the options?
If you can come to the podium, just so, for record, please.
What are the options? What are the alternatives?
The option is, if we vote to turn it down, he has the right afterwards to say, well, I'll go to council and ask them to maybe they'll grant it. But you're granting him permission for the whole front and back. And at that time, like I said, if he sells it in 2 years from now, a
It's
new
all
owner-
business.
A new owner comes in, they can take the whole property because we passed it. If
Do
we-
any kind of
yeah,
business.
Or any
not
kind of
in that
business.
zone, Not the car lot.
If we deny it now, he has the right to say, you know what, I'll apply for a conditional use permit. And that conditional use permit, just like you said, only the boundaries will be just the backyard this way and only that. So if he ever sells it, only that.
So
piece,
that would,
he has he can do
that would appease both of us.
Right.
Okay.
And at this point, go ahead. I was gonna say, at this point, our vote's only a recommendation, so basically, we're just recommending our decision, and then city council at that time ultimately makes the final decision how they go
And
forward.
what does he need to do in the meantime?
They'll explain it to them, but probably tell him, you know what, you can go to council, or you can just reapply for a conditional use permit and come back to us. He's probably the easiest one.
But he needs to tell us that.
But
Does
he
he
needs
want
to-
us to go on? Does he want to withdraw the request? Or do we just, follow through and make our recommendation, and he goes to city council? So,
And do you know where you need to go to change this now?
Yes, I would have to be in the planning.
He'll come to the planning department.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it worked out better.
If there's no other questions from the, there's no other questions from the commission, or comments, what sort of action would you like?
To deny,
So
go to recommendation.
Second.
we have a motion to not support the zone change, and a second.
Yes.
Commissioner Wang, all in favor? Aye. Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 6K. Amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning approximately 1.50 acre tract of land out of a tract land conveyed to J&H Rentals, a Texas limited liability company, as described in deed recorded in volume 3262, pages 731 to 740. Official public records, Webb County, Texas, listed as additional commercial tracts situated in porcion number 32, Webb County, Texas, being out of tracts 1 through 4, and more fully described by meets and bounds in the certain copy of said agreement recorded in volume 574, pages 569 to 573. Deed records, Webb County, Texas, volume 1051, page 611. Real property records, Webb County, Texas, in volume 1051, page 622. Real Property Records, Webb County, Texas, located south of State Highway 359 and west of Veterans Boulevard from R1 Single Family Residential District to M1 Light Manufacturing District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant is J&H Rentals LLC, owner Eduardo Garcia, PE, CFM, applicant and representative. Property description, approximately 1.5 acre tract of land located south of State Highway 359 and west of Veterans Boulevard. The zone change request is from an R1 to an M1. The proposed use is industrial. Letter sent 20-4-0 against 0. Location view, aerial view, street view, zone change signage, zoning overview, future land use, staff recommendation, staff supports the proposed zone change, proposed motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item?
Good evening, Chairman and members of the Commission. Alfredo Martinez with Crane Engineering on behalf of the owner. We support staff's recommendations, and basically, as you can see by the maps provided, we're trying to match that abutting property with that M1 zone.
Thank you. There's no,
I have a question. Where's the entrance to this property?
Off of 359.
Okay, so it would go through the M1 that you're trying to match?
Yes,
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak against this item? If not, what sort of action, or any questions for?
Close the public hearing and make a motion to support the staff recommendation.
We have a motion by Commissioner Rangel.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wang. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 6L, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by authorizing the issuance of a conditional use permit for a warehouse trucking company on Lot 3, Block 1, Stacy Allison Young subdivision, in approximately 0.1928 acre tract of land out of 1,161.66 acre tract out of Porcion 27, Webb County, Texas, of record in volume 209, pages 47 to 49. Webb County deed records located at 3804 Casablanca Lake Road and north of East Saunders Street and west of Casablanca Lake Road.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant is Young Fall Properties LTD, owner Victor J. Linares, applicant representative. Property description, Lot 3, Block 1, Stacy Allison Young subdivision, and approximately 0.1928 acre located at 3804 Casablanca Lake Road and north of East Saunders and west of Casablanca Lake Road. The zone change request is a conditional use permit for a warehouse trucking company. The proposed use warehouse trucking company. Letter sent 11-4-0 against 0. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning overview. Future land use. Staff recommendation, staff does not support the proposed conditional use permit. Proposed motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this item?
So, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I don't know if, I know that the applicant has talked about positioning a building that would front the road and then park on the west side?
That's correct. Good evening. My name is Victor Linares with Savio Engineering. I'm here representing the owner. We're in favor of the CUP, and if I may, I do have some items to present and summarize, and one of the items has to do with the site plan. Yeah.
I would like to see if we can see it, and if it works out, maybe the exhibit could be added to the conditional use permit, and then we would be okay with that. Because I think that's the biggest thing, is if they can front the building so it looks nice, and then the trailers enter on the north side, exit on the south side, that's pretty much the plan. That would work. We can deal with that.
Go ahead.
Yes. As you can see from the site plan, what we're proposing is pretty much where the warehouse is pretty much as close as we can when it comes to the front setback, and pretty much that facade is going to be the rear portion of the warehouse. We are promoting in our letter, in our petition, that pretty much the entrance to be on the north driveway, the exit on the south driveway, and pretty much that 18-wheelers don't have any access to the Casablanca road going east and west, and just focusing on the north to south section. And so the circulation and when it comes to the items, they'll pretty much be hidden. The intent is to hide, in essence, behind the infrastructure. On the letter itself, we are designating the amount of traffic, which is 5 18-wheelers. We're even promoting also the height of the structure and such. And pretty much we have all those items indicated. Also the hours of operation, where we spoke with the potential owner, where Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, it was pretty much the strict operation that they'll function for this property. I do have one minor update just in the letter, if I may. I do want to include this item in there. On the part of the narrative, we identify that pretty much there's an owner and there's a potential buyer. The potential buyer is the one who will be using the CUP specifically. I just do want to amend or correct the letter that was submitted to planning. If I could correct the LLC to pretty much to the names over here, which is Cynthia Navarrete LLC and Dark Lodges LLC. I just want to make sure that that update on the CUP is there if approved. But I'm here for any questions. If there's any further questions, I have further items if needed. And I'm here and I'm available.
Thank you.
Mhm.
As seeing the plan,
Yeah.
does that change?
Yeah, we just needed to have something, and we could use that as kind of the general concept of what's going to happen. As long as they keep it towards the front, I think that'll work.
Are there any questions from staff? From commission for staff? Or any questions for the applicant?
Just quick comment is, the street that's in front,
Mhm.
it's paved street, but it's
Asphalt? No, it's,
yeah, but it's a small, it's not the size of a normal.
So what's the right of way?
Yeah,
60
right away
or-
and all that. Is that gonna be addressed?
We can address it. I know they'll do their part to improve their portion.
I know, just to comment just on that specific strip, the right-of-way is 120 foot. The street that we're trying to specifically use, it's 120 foot right-of-way.
Which is the street coming in off of Saunders.
That is correct, yes.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak against this item?
Good evening. I'm Daniel Villarreal. I represent the current owners of the property. I would like to approve the conditional use permit. The family's owned that property for many, many years before it was leased to the state. Due to some unforeseen circumstances, it had astigmatism. We tore down the building, and the property's been sitting there vacant. We've tried to sell it as a commercial piece of property. Unfortunately, the family being stuck with a piece of property, they need to do something with it. They were approached by a truck driving school recently, and they were told the property itself is already under contract. When we applied for the first zone change, we understood completely why it was denied. We understand that once it was sold, other types of businesses that are maybe not favorable would be put there, and we understood. So we applied for the conditional use permit. I think it would be in the best interest for the family and even for the city, because if not, I don't want to see the family say, well, we need to do something with it. I believe they can use it as actual truck parking. People have been parking their trucks there for years without permission, but we allowed it. They park across the street in a dirt lot as well. So I would like to, I'm for approving it because I believe it'll actually be a benefit to everybody, including the apartments across the street, where maybe they can do their own thing and get paving for their trucks. I believe they are parked there illegally.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe there's no other comments on this item from the public.
Move to close public hearing and approve the conditional use permit.
Second.
So we have a motion to support the conditional use permit recommendation, and we have a second by Commissioner Sala Paz. All in favor? Oh,
In favor, but just to make sure that the language is there, that the building will sit in front.
Oh, that'd be part of the conditions.
Yeah, we'll, if the commission, can make that
We'll amend the
correction or
motion
add that.
to make sure to update the names and to include the exhibit of the building.
corrected
Second.
motion. We have a corrected motion, and we have a second? Commissioner Sala Paz?
Second.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 6M, amending the zoning ordinance map of the City of Laredo by rezoning approximately 5,208.33 square feet tract of land being the south of 50 feet of Lot 1 and the south 50 feet of the west half of Lot 2, Block 243, Eastern Division of the City of Laredo, Texas, being situated in Survey 799, Abstract 239, City of Laredo, Webb County, Texas, located at 1713 Marcella Avenue from R3 Mixed Residential District to R1A Single Family Reduced Area District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, we have the applicant, Maria Dolores Palens, owner, Victor J. Linares as the applicant representative. Property location approximately 5,208.33 square feet, tract of land located at 1713 Marcella Avenue. Zone change request is from an R3 to R1A. Proposed use is residential. Letters sent were 52. We have none for and none against. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning map. Future land use map. And the recommendation is staff supports. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wish to speak in favor of this item? In favor?
Buenas tardes. Yo quisiera saber qué es lo que quiere hacer la señora Palencia. Yo
Ok.
vivo por ahí, por la Marsella.
Ahorita van a hablar sobre favor y van a explicar un poco lo que van a hacer.
Ok.
Ujú. Y bueno, should I ask her name?
Good evening, Commission.
Yes.
Jonathan Vasco, Star Engineering. We are in favor. To answer
Fix the mic.
Oh, sorry. Good evening. We are in favor, ma'am. To answer the ma'am's question, the owner wants to obtain a demo permit, demo the current house because it is in bad condition, and then just bring back another single-family dwelling.
Okay.
It's just it's for permit purposes. We just don't meet the conditions under an R3, so we're asking for the R1A.
Okay. Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who else wishes to speak in favor of this item? Yeah. Anyone who
able
wishes
to
to speak
explain?
against this item? Sí. Bueno,
Señora, puede preguntar.
y su nombre, por favor. Su nombre, por favor.
Mi nombre es Elvira Tijerina, yo vivo por Galveston. Cuando el señor Raúl Salinas era mayor, la señora Palencia y el señor de Gámez querían cambiar la zona a zona comercial y no se aprobó. Ahora, ¿qué problema trae la señora Palencia? ¿Quiere hacer la zona comercial para vender su casa o qué es lo que quiere? No, porque no se aprobó en esa vez.
No, lo que quiere hacer, que explicó el muchacho ahorita.
Pero como hablan en inglés, yo no le entiendo.
Le voy a explicar en español. Lo que explicó el muchacho ahorita, que lo que quiere es que no cumple la casa actualmente con los requisitos, la tienen que demoler
Sí.
y volver a hacer una casa que sí cumpla con los requisitos del área. Entonces, necesita cambiar de zona para que pueda realizar una casa nueva que va a ser una vivienda, no tiene nada que ver con nada comercial.
Pero pues si toda mi vida vivió ahí en esa casa, ¿por qué cuando estaba mejor la casa no la arregló? Siempre la dejó caer.
Eso no sabemos, lo que quieren hacer es hacerlo bien en este momento.
Sí, pero no estamos de acuerdo. Yo no estoy de acuerdo.
Gracias. This is a public hearing. Anyone else who wishes to speak in favor or against this item? there's no questions from the commission, what sort of action would you like to take?
Motion to support.
We have a motion to support.
Second.
And a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 6N, amending the zoning ordinance map of the city of Laredo by rezoning approximately 8.04 acre tract of land out of a tract of land conveyed to San Isidro Northeast Limited, described in deed recorded in volume 1450, pages 868, 874, and volumes 3355, pages 170, 178, deed records. Webb County, Texas, located south of 1 Escutia Boulevard and west of Cavantina Drive, from R1 Single Family Residential District to R2 Multifamily Residential District.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, applicant is San Isidro Northeast LTD, owner SKG Homes 9 LLC. As the applicant, Oscar Castillo PE is the representative. The property description is approximately 8.04 acres tract of land located south of Juan Escutia Boulevard and west of Cavantina Drive. The zone change request is from an R1 to an R2. Proposed use is townhomes. Letter sent 2640 against 0. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. Zone change signage. Zoning overview. Future land use. Staff recommendations. Staff supports the proposed zone change. Proposed motion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone wish to speak in favor of this item?
It's Oscar Castillo with Pegua Consulting representing the owner, and we're for the Oscar Castillo with Pegua Consulting representing the owner, and we're for the zone change and here to answer any questions. Thank you.
No question?
No. Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak against this item or for? Are there any questions from the commission or comments?
No. Motion to, okay, close public hearing and support the zone change.
So we have a motion to close public hearing and supports staff's recommendation for zone change. We have a second by Commissioner Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. We're moving on to consideration of the following preliminary plats and preliminary replats. Moving on to item 7A, preliminary consideration of the replat of Lot 1, Block 2, Pinnacle Industry Center, FM 1472, Unit 11, into Lot 1A and Lot 1B, Block 2, Pinnacle Industry Center, FM 1472, Unit 11. The intent is industrial.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is Protunos Holdings. Engineer is Pegua Consulting. Proposed use is industrial. The zoning for this 2-lot development is M1. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. The replat, proposed replat. Staff comments planning. Parks and Leisure. The proposed motion.
Thank you. The engineer of record would come up.
Oscar Castillo for the record, and we concur with the comments and here to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for the engineer? Thank you.
By the way, thank you for pronouncing correctly the name of the company.
Practiced all day.
If there's no questions or comments, what sort of action would the commission like to take on this item?
Motion to approve, subject to comments.
We have a motion to approve, subject to comments by Commissioner Salapaz and second by Commissioner Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 7B, preliminary consideration of the plat of World Logistics Park, Phase 3. The intent is industrial.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is TDB Land Holdings. Engineer is Topside Civil Group. Proposed use is industrial. The zoning for this 14-lot development is not applicable as this tract is within the ETJ. Location view. Aerial view. The proposed plat. Staff comments planning, fire, traffic safety, and parks and leisure, and the proposed motion.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the commission. Ricardo Villarreal, Topside Civil Group. On behalf of the client, we concur with staff's comments. I'm here to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for the engineer? Thank you. What sort of action would the commission like to take?
Motion to approve, subject to the comments.
We have a motion to approve, subject to comments by Commissioner Rangel. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 7C, preliminary consideration of the plat of Lot 1A, Block 5A, Block 2, Port Laredo Industrial Park, Unit 1. The intent is industrial.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is Eric Gromecki. Engineers Howland Engineering and Surveying. Proposed use is industrial. The zoning for this 5-lot development is M1 and M2. Location view. The aerial view. Street view. The proposed plat. Staff comments planning. Fire. Traffic safety and parks and leisure. Proposed motion.
Thank you.
Can you go back to the
Correct.
area?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, council, sorry. It's Oscar Ramos with Howley Engineering. We'd like to table this item for the next meeting.
Okay. We have a request to table. Can I have a motion?
Motion to table.
We have a motion to table.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 7D. Preliminary consideration of the replat of Lot 2, Block 12, Eastwoods subdivision, Phase 4 into Lot 2A and Lot 2B, Block 12, Eastwoods subdivision, Phase 4. The intent is commercial and multifamily.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is EMVI. Engineer is Ramos Engineering. Proposed use is commercial and multifamily. The zoning for this 2-lot development is B3. Location view. Aerial view. Street view. The proposed replat. Staff comments planning and parks and leisure, and the proposed motion.
Thank you.
Good evening, Francisco Ramos, Ramos Engineering. We agree with all the comments on the plat. If you have any questions, we'll be here.
Can you go back?
Correct. Aerial view, ma'am?
It's in the back property and they're gonna do,
Yes, the intent is to do multifamily.
Okay.
At least that's the intent at this point. Like he just want to do that. So like the property line, the new property line should kind of be like where there's this little retaining wall towards the back of the wishy-washy.
Mhm.
So that's where the property line is going to be, and the this new lot's going to be facing O'Kane.
okay.
Thank you. What sort of action would the commission like to take if there's no questions or comments?
Motion to approve, subject to comments.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 7E, preliminary consideration of the plat of Las Flautas Commercial Subdivision. The intent is commercial.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is MG Benavides Estates. Engineer is Topside Civil Group. Proposed use is commercial. The zoning for this 5-lot development is B4. Location view. Aerial view.
That's a big one.
Street view. The proposed plat. Staff comments, planning, fire, and parks and leisure, and the proposed motion.
Thank you.
Good evening, Ricardo Villarreal, Topside Civil Group. On behalf of the client, we concur with staff's comments. Just on comment number 3, to clarify, the cul-de-sac will be public, not private. It's the extension of the public road.
Okay.
Can we go back to that, let's see where the cul-de-sac is?
I don't see the cul-de-sac. Where is it?
You like to see the plat, or?
The cul-de-sac, where's the cul-de-sac?
It's on the north side, that circle, right in the middle.
middle.
Um,
After the flautas.
Can't really see,
That entrance is from Binchar Road, right?
yeah, so
That goes
off of
right there.
Benchow Road, there's a road that comes south.
Oh, yes.
Just east of Galeria Subdivision Phase 1.
Right.
And the public street, there we go, right there. Public street comes down maybe about 400 feet, and so we're gonna cul-de-sac it there. So it'll be public, so it won't be part of a lot. It's
So
just
you
a
want-
street, so for the turnaround, for the public.
So you need a correction on that word to public, or?
Yeah, no, it's just
Okay.
clarify if cul-de-sac will be
Alright.
private and what lot it will pertain to, just to clarify it's gonna be public, not
Okay.
private. In case you all
Usually
had
the
any comments.
engineers are more specific and they give more detail than others.
I thought Las Flautas was a good name, so.
Yeah, that's-
Thank you.
I thought it was gonna be a restaurant.
Could be.
Are there any questions or
We
comments?
still don't know what they're gonna build, right?
No, not yet.
It's
There,
just,
the only thing that's certain is on lot, and my eyesight is leaving me, but the corner lot off of Maria Luisa and Bob Bullock,
Mhm.
that's an existing detention pond already.
oh, okay.
Other than that, everything else is zone B4 for lots.
Got it.
If there's no other questions or comments from the commission, what sort of action would you like to take?
Motion to approve, subject to the comments with the correction.
We have a-
Comment 3.
Perfect. We have a motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Garcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 7F. Preliminary consideration of the plat of BG subdivision. The intent is commercial.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is BG International, engineers Crane Engineering. Proposed use is commercial. The zoning for this one-lot development is R1. Location view, aerial view, street view, the proposed plat, staff comments planning, fire and parks and leisure, and the proposed motion.
Thank you.
Good evening, Alfredo Martinez with Crane Engineering on behalf of the owner. We concur with most of the comments. We did want to ask for the removal of comment number 2 under fire. That specific road there, it's another property owned by somebody else, and our plat will be having access through 359. And I believe Edward Garza from Crane sent a letter out to the fire department plat reviewer, and I believe they were okay with that change.
Chief, could you?
Ruben Dominguez, the Laredo Fire Department. We did speak to Mr. Garza. The access to the property will be on 359, so we can, sorry. The access to the property will be on 359, so we can strike that comment.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any questions for the engineer?
No.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Is that with striking?
Removal of number 2. With the removal of, yes.
All right, so we have a motion to
Second.
approve, subject to the comments, striking comment number 2, and we have a second
Second.
by Commissioner Salapas. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to reconsideration of the following preliminary plats and preliminary replats. Item 8A, preliminary reconsideration of the plat of Wisdom Industrial Park. The intent is industrial. The purpose of this reconsideration is to reconfigure lots.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is North Laredo Industrial Park, engineers Topside Civil Group. Proposed use is industrial. The zoning for this 5-lot development is M1. Location view, aerial view, street view, the proposed plat, staff comments planning, fire, traffic safety, and parks and leisure, and the proposed motion.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
just to let everybody know, when there is a final plat approval and the engineer would like to make changes, they make a replat change. In this case, they went through preliminary, they haven't gotten a final yet, and that's why these are reconsiderations of the preliminary.
Okay.
Good evening, Ricardo Villarreal, Topside Civil Group, on behalf of the client. We concur with all of staff's comments except number one. If we can further discuss this, I know it's a long comment, but I guess let me read it just for the record. The landowner to the west, Needmore Dolores LLC, the landowner to the west, Needmore Dolores LLC, and to the landowner to the east, agenda item 8B, reconsideration of SKG Columbia Industrial Park North, which is right after this item, have been in discussions with TxDOT regarding access to State Highway 255, which is known as Camino Colombia Road. Coordinate with said adjacent landowners and TxDOT to ensure safe access to State Highway 255 can be achieved for all, thereby reducing traffic impacts and the number of connections to said highway. Solutions may include the development of a cross street that connects all three developments, provide evidence of coordination during the one-stop shop process. Just a little bit of history. I don't know if we can go back to our plans. Actually, since I don't have a fancy pointer, if I can use this here.
Ask Mehmet.
Here, I'll borrow Lisa's. It's not in the budget.
Complain.
Here we go. So our original plat had two cul-de-sacs. During that process, we had comments from the city that stated to provide access either to the west landowner and the north landowner. So what we did was, instead of doing this cul-de-sac on this side, we extended this road north to have, so that the future landowners can have access off of this road. We had kept this cul-de-sac on the east side. This preliminary plat was approved with the road going north and the cul-de-sac on the east side. This reconsideration is just removing this cul-de-sac. There seems to be a bigger interest on bigger lots. We have kept the road that the city requested going north to our boundaries. There's also a 10-foot reserve strip for the future. The reason for that is right now there's a 60-foot easement there that belongs to the owner on the west. In order for them to build that road, they would need a 70-foot right-of-way to meet the minimum standards of an industrial road. So we have left a 10-foot reserve so that they can have that 70-foot in the future. All this has been approved in the original preliminary consideration. The reason it kind of makes us worry, this comment, and I understand why it's on there, it's basically to coordinate with TxDOT any access. We have already had a meeting with TxDOT, representatives from the Needmore Ranch, as well as, let me get the name right, SKG Columbia, which Oscar with Bewa is here as well. In those discussions, it was stated that, we explained what our road was going to do. It was going to go north. We wanted everybody to funnel into our road and come down and connect to State Highway 255, which is Columbia Road, and kind of have one point of access, right? However, SKG does have their own road connecting here. Spacing limits, site distances meet TxDOT specs. Now it's basically our job to go get the TxDOT permit, which, just to clarify, comment number 5 does state access to State Highway 255 and Mines Road, if required, is subject to review and approval by TxDOT, which that's an obvious comment anytime we're abutting a state highway. In this case, this is kind of loaded. Provide evidence of coordination when we go to one-stop shop. Well, we've already coordinated with TxDOT. We've already had meetings with the adjacent landowners. I believe this, I can't remember if the city was there or not. I think the representatives from the city were there. Yeah. So it's kind of just a broad statement that from here to this point, if somebody doesn't want to coordinate, what happens, right? Obviously, we're only responsible on what we do within our own boundaries. Anything that happens after that, either they have to come to this commission, get it approved, and they have to go to TxDOT and get their own driveway approved. So that's basically our reason. Any discussions from here, I'm all ears, but I don't know if we can remove that if staff's okay with that.
So,
Yo te quería preguntar algo. I haven't read all of them, but is that same comment on Peguas, on the others too?
That is correct. So the item, on the item 8B, that is the one by Pewa, and that same comment is on there. Now, the one for the La Mantilla tract, which is the westernmost tract, they have not come in yet, but they have expressed interest that they want to come in the future. So our just concern, and there has been some coordination with TxDOT, and we've attended those meetings. I can't say for sure that there is a full agreement by TxDOT. Their just concern is because this is the last little leg of 255. They're looking out for the future interests of the city, of the bridge, and we just want to make sure that coordination does occur, because all of a sudden everyone's jumping on the bandwagon, and one developer came in, then the other one, and then now another one. So obviously there's an interest and demand for this area. We just want to make sure that everybody is on the same page. And again, they do comply with the City of Laredo subdivision ordinances, but the key here is TxDOT, because they are connecting to their right of way. So ultimately they have control. We just want to make sure that everybody's on board and not one developer gets ahead of the other one. That's.
And of course, comment number 5 is there. Anytime, again, we abut a state highway, that comment's always there. That's a separate approval process. We still have to submit a TxDOT driveway permit. We still submit a driveway permit even for a street tie-in. We have to provide a traffic impact analysis for this project to submit to TxDOT. So I think comment 5 covers what the concern is. Our concern is it's mainly doing something before one-stop shop, right? If I'm ready for design and I can meet the next one-stop shop meeting, which is next Tuesday or 2 weeks after that, if somebody kind of delays coordination, that's kind of, we can only control what's within our own boundaries and what's within our own powers. Not to say that we do not want to coordinate. We definitely do. We've been coordinating for the last month on all this. There seems to be a general agreement of what the idea is for the area, but the comment, provide evidence. I have evidence of a meeting that we had 30 days ago. What I'm worried about is planning really isn't at one-stop shop, right? They're completely different departments. So how do they take that note? Is it, hey, I had a meeting, hey, minutes? Does it require what came out of the meeting? And that's what's kind of just out there. And I mean, I know his project is next, but it kind of coincides with what we have, and I don't know if Oscar wants to add anything.
So is your concern the fact that 2 landowners are already pretty much developing, but the third one has not yet come through, so you just don't want your development to be delayed because of the third?
That is correct.
Yeah, and mainly like Ricardo was saying, Oscar Castillo with Pegua Consulting, representing SKG. And yeah, the main concern, I have the same concern on this particular item, is in mine is item number 6 that it requires us to get with TxDOT. So we're going to be coordinated with them, and we have been coordinated with them. So, but in my opinion, the comment number 1 could create confusion, and it could create problems for us. Like right now we're in a hurry to, to plat this property, but probably the other owner is not. So that's why I will request the same thing.
It's like, and I think the chairman said it perfectly. This can hinder our time frame. Our projected submittal to One Stop Shop is in 3 weeks, right? With fully blown plans, the developer spending, a good amount of time, money on this investment, and this comment, while we understand why it's there, we think the other comment from TxDOT is the cover-all of everything. If we get a TxDOT denial on that project, we still have to come back to the commission. So it's not like if hey, we get to go do whatever we want. We still have to abide by other rules.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I understand what he's saying, and the issue that I have is this is Camino Colombia. This is brand new to us. There is nothing out there right now. We are trying to make sure we don't make the mistakes that happened in the past. So the representation here is 400 acres, 500 acres?
Ours?
Well, yours is how much?
182.
182, and then SKG is?
84.
84, and then you have Needmore. So it's quite a bit of area. And what ends up happening is you have one landowner come in, negotiates with TxDOT, another landowner, and what we're trying to do is kind of bring them all together and try to master plan this, because this is the beginning of possibly a new community. So I understand, and we'll be there on a phone call with them to try to make sure that we don't delay them. But if we don't slow down, it's what's going to happen is you're just going to have a bunch of warehouses out there, and there won't be the access points are going to be different. You're going to have a little bit of I feel it'll be out of control a little bit, and then we're going to get into the same problem that we're having, because these are big parcels. We've already received an application for 900,000 square feet on one property. So that's the kind of sizes we're dealing with, and a lot of trucks. So this commission is actually putting these developments out there, and if we let each landowner just do their thing, what's the big picture going to look like? And what we're trying to do is capture a big picture, and we're lucky enough that we have 3 landowners out here that are developers. They understand the game. We just want to make sure that the flow works, together, because how far are you from the bridge? That road right there is?
I would probably say maybe a quarter of a mile.
Yeah,
And
they're right on top of the bridge.
That's what I was going to say. And the projection is they're going to expand Columbia Bridge 8 carriles más, okay? And my issue is I only see you guys exiting to 255. You guys do not have any other road going to Mines Road. And it's the same problem that we had in Killam that makes every issue come down to Mines Road. So I understand why, like you said in the beginning, Rick, I understand why you put it there, because you are starting something new there. And if you all don't combine and join and be nice to the neighbor and prepare all your outings from there, right? I remember since I started that one of the big issues is that you have to have 2 entries. If an emergency comes in, we're not talking about cars, we're talking about 18-wheelers. So we need something to go outside Mines Road, to Mines Road, and something towards the bridge. And in peak hours, when an emergency comes up, because Columbia Bridge is only, I think, 50% of their capacity, right? It's not like 80% of the World Trade Bridge. So I understand what Orly is saying, and I know it's a little bit frustrating for you guys in your part, but the city needs to dot their i's and cross their t's because they don't want the same issue that they've
Correct.
had in the past.
No, and let's take one step back. I don't think this is about trying to make a better area for not only the 3 landowners, but the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 landowners,
Así
right?
es.
And so originally, we had a T intersection here. We didn't have a connection point there. So our original thing was, let's control what we have here to limit what's going on 255. In the original plat, we abided by what the city wanted, and that's provide an access to our neighbors, to Needmore, to the northern ranch, that's thousands of acres that's gonna come in here. So we opened it up and kind of said, hey, everybody come in here, use this main road to come in here. Now, whether you want to bypass Mines Road, you want to do this, the other reason is us giving the 10-foot reserve is for that road, to go to Mines Road. So from our initial submittal to where we are now, we've provided future access points with the proper right of way, with the proper ingress and egress for this project. I think Oscar being on the corner, he's more standalone here. He's like a convenience store of industrial parks, right, on that corner. But yes, as it is where we stand here, we didn't just come up with this, 2 weeks ago or a month ago. It's been in the running for, 3-4 months. And originally, again, this road wasn't going up north. And to abide by, in that TxDOT meeting, TxDOT doesn't want a lot of punch outs in this area, right? We are just, just a fraction. It's us. Needmore has just a little bit more, probably less than us, and then it's the bridge system, right?
Staff, do we have like a big picture, like an override where we can see his and
There we go.
and how do
So-
you say Oscar's and
Yeah, so Oscar is this corner,
okay,
or SKG,
SKG.
And North Laredo Development is in yellow, and Needmore has access off of Mines,
Okay.
and they come all the way to the river, kind of come down, come in here, go around the city of Laredo wastewater treatment plant, come here, and they have this little exit. So in the talks with TxDOT that happened roughly 30 days ago, where it was representatives from all of us, and now I remember, Rafa was there. I can't believe I forgot that, Rafa. Rafa was there, so we showed him that this street is gonna be the other street that probably parallels Mines Road. This road is gonna extend north. That's the point here, is so that all this doesn't just go, and there's different routes to get to the bridge, both in and out, not just going to the bridge.
Yeah.
There's also issues going out. So if there's ever an emergency, you can kind of go out and go north. So our road is there for the future, which wasn't there in the original submittal. Now it is. And then with that being said, this landowner is responsible also to build part of this road. So in the TxDOT meeting that we had, it was proposed that Needmore would tie into our road only up to here and use our road as the connection. And then when these guys come tying in the north, they tie in the rest. Because that's how every landowner works here. The right of way is going to be there. It's going to be dedicated if for some reason something happens. But yes, in that TxDOT meeting, that coordination was, okay, we'll tie into your road. We'll build this road here to tie into your road so that everybody here doesn't try to squeeze out here. They come out, use your road and use our road and come down the middle. So we have been in coordination. There has been, like Rafa said, there's nothing set in stone here. But more than likely, it's all going to be based off of development, right? But the intent has been spoken about. It has been put on the table to where, all right, I'll come in and tie in here, and I'll build this road to tie in to let out I don't remember how much they have. They probably have another 150 acres here. And then the future, the big landowners north of us, they also have a responsibility to build their portion of the road.
If you were to come out at 255, how would the transport get to the bridge?
This way?
No, down that way.
This
Over
way?
there?
So right now, we have a right in, right out per se.
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Right,
so you
so
would turn
there's a
right?
turnaround just past us here. So if we get out, we come and we take that turnaround to go into America.
How about going to
Um,
Mexico?
Yeah, and then we take a ride to go into the bridge. Same thing, if we're coming down Camino Colombia, they just take a ride into our park, take a right. But to get out, we come and take the turnaround and go this way. Now, these two lots, which are the two bigger lots, that's the majority, about half of the subdivision, they do have access off of Mines Road that can have that as an independent driveway. This bigger lot, we have made it a wider frontage. The reason for that wider frontage is after a certain size of warehouse, you do need two ins and outs, but not only that, those two ins and outs have to be separated by half the diagonal of the lot. So that's why you need to have so much frontage on a public road, which we've taken care of that.
My question to staff would be, what kind of evidence of coordination do you want? Because
So if you look at what I was asking, they want to turn right and go straight to the bridge. They want to do that for 300, 400 acres. Above them is 1,000 acres that are all going to coordinate to come down that street and turn right to get to the bridge. I don't think that makes sense. With the volumes that we have right now, turning right and thinking, I mean, I don't think that's going to work if you're going to do it for 1,500 acres. You know, I know it works today, and they're going to put one warehouse, and it'll be perfect, you know. But what is the bigger picture? I would think that just like we have at our World Trade Bridge, we closed the ramp that's closest to the bridge. I don't know if you're familiar with that ramp.
Yes.
So that ramp was closed because trucks were coming and trying to sneak in, get in. I'm afraid that road is gonna be the sneak in road, and everybody's gonna want to turn right to hurry up and get to the bridge. That concerns me. Now, at the end of the day, TxDOT does do the approving, and they are we don't have any say in that, that's them. So, I guess the paragraph might have been written, it's a little complicated to read, I think, but overall, our intent is to kind of keep in mind the big picture. But if the commission feels that number one, there's no need for that, and number five takes care of the problem because yes, once again, TxDOT takes care of it.
Well,
That's fine.
I think my question was, what sort of evidence do you want to show that they have been in coordination?
Well, let me ask a question.
Because
guess,
I think
for-
everybody in Webb County is on the same page of not having we want to avoid traffic issues.
Mhm.
We don't want a backup. So what kind of evidence are you looking for that they coordinated?
So I'll ask this question for the engineers. So I know there's definitely been coordination with TxDOT, but at what point in the approval process of the platting will TxDOT say, okay, we grant you the connection? Will it be after the plat's recorded, or, and I think that's the question.
So, yes, and just the way development is kind of spewed out in our ordinances and just the way things go, we'd have to get an approval by this commission before we even proceed to go ask for something else. I can go get an approval from TxDOT and the commission says I don't like it, it negates my approval from TxDOT. So even though TxDOT is the one that approves, it's so much easier to go and get the plat, because the plat encompasses so many more different issues: water, sewer, all that. So we have to get the plat approved here first, not only just ingress egress, but is there enough capacity for sewer, enough capacity for water? And then from that point, if we're okay, we start initial assessment and we do submit a TxDOT permit, or we would like to submit a TxDOT permit even before final. However, the timeframes that TxDOT has and the city has are night and day. If we get the approval from TxDOT, we have 6 months to build it. So sometimes it takes 4 to 5 months to get out of one-stop shop. So if we go get it, it negates our approval. So those are the things that we have to deal with. So we have to go at it strategically. In this case, on a bigger subdivision like this, if it were just one lot, I don't have any improvements, I can go get the driveway permit, and within 6 months I can build it. But right now, TxDOT might take more than that. Plus, I only have 6 months to build it. So here, so that there's not a lot of impact, both time-wise and financial-wise, on the developers, this is probably the easiest way to go. Come here, get the plan approved, now let me go get it. Now, if I don't get it with TxDOT, I have to come back and rework it before I do anything. But in this case here, it behooves us to at least, and TxDOT has been flexible enough to give a general location of a driveway, right? Approval. The reason for that is if they give us an approval, again, we only have 6 months to build it, it'll just expire on us. So now they've been giving letters, hey, based off of this layout, when you come for this driveway, if it doesn't move from here, you're almost guaranteed a driveway. So we've done that on other projects. Again, that process still takes a long time. But yes, I mean, we're already starting our coordination, we're already starting our TIA work, traffic impact analysis, and it's a double-edged sword, like the director said. You know, you have a lot of traffic, I'll put a cul-de-sac here. That'd be, you know, that way to eliminate. But then that second edge of the sword is, well, now other people can't access. So it's kind of like, what do we want here? And we're all for, I think on our if this gets tabled or denied, we still have our original preliminary plat that we, you know, that has the same thing here. Here it's just making these lots a little bit bigger for the end user.
Let me ask, I know the coordination of adjacent landowners is the issue. If we strike that part but leave to ensure safe access to State 55, any other connecting points, does that also take care of what your concerns is?
Can you repeat that?
So your issue is a coordination with adjacent landowners?
Not necessarily.
No.
My issue is the providing proof at the one-stop shop process. If we can eliminate that sentence, I'm hoping Oscar is nodding back there, but if we can just eliminate that sentence, the coordination, we're all for it.
Right, but as far as
we're all for it. It's if somebody says, hey, I don't want to coordinate, or I'm not in agreement, okay, well, I'm going to follow with what I have approved then.
And if the regarding access to State 255 and other access points remains, does that still address your all's issue as far as the bigger picture? Because you can still plan for the future with what you kind of project or foresee.
We can easily, nowadays, we easily have Zoom meetings, WebEx meetings, whatever. You know, we get TxDOT on the line, the engineers on the line. So it's just like I said, we're just trying to coordinate all this acreage. But again, at the end of the day, TxDOT's the final call. So Mr. Guzman over at TxDOT, we can always check with him to see if he's dealt with the engineers. I mean, there's ways we can do it, so.
There was a subsequent meeting, you know, I think we met 30, 45 days ago. There was a subsequent meeting that was scheduled that was canceled by TxDOT. Oscar had more of a conversation with Mr. Guzman at TxDOT, but I think at that point he felt, okay, I think we have enough information to where we know what's going on here. In all fairness to not only us, but city staff as well, these are the ends of the city limits here. We don't even have thoroughfare plans here. You know, we don't have this. So this coordination is important. By all means, it is important. It's just up to a certain point, you know, we just kind of, we don't want to rely on somebody else, right? We obviously have to rely on the city and TxDOT, but on neighbors, I like Oscar a lot, he's a personal friend of mine, but he can't hold me back that much.
I mean, I see both points, and it is a big deal because this is the final decision as far as what the commission decides. So whatever we do decide here affects the future of how things flow, go in, go out. So it is a crucial decision either way we do, either way the commission decides. So that's all I have to say.
We're okay if you want to eliminate, provide evidence of coordination during the one-stop shop process. I mean, if that makes you feel better, I mean, you just take that out.
And that's just a different animal. That's probably has nothing to do with the coordination or the text. It's people that are not here, right? And they're gonna take this note and they're gonna be like, well, what happened? And now opinions start coming in on something that we've already spoken about either here or at TxDOT. So that's the only thing. The rest of the comment can stay.
El párrafo.
Last.
Feel the same way.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. What sort of action would the commission like to take on this?
Was motion to approve striking out the last sentence on comment number 1, provide evidence of coordination during the one-stop shop process.
Okay. We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Cáceres. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 8B. Preliminary reconsideration of the plat of SKG Columbia Industrial Park North and the granting of a variance to increase the 500-foot threshold for a dead-end street for the proposed street, Sierra Madre. The intent is industrial. The purpose of this reconsideration is to reconfigure lots and remove a street.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is SKG Columbia, engineer is Pegua Consulting. Proposed use is industrial. The zoning for this 5-lot development is M1. Location view. Aerial view. The proposed plat. Street view. Staff comments planning. Fire. And the proposed motion.
Thank you. The engineer.
For the record, Pegua Consulting, representing SKG, and we concur with the comments except with the comment number 1. As we said, and I will be fine also if we strike that part. In my opinion, it's also the one that could create confusion and.
You weren't even going to ask that, were you?
No, of course. But and also we're asking for a variance. Usually the dead ends cul-de-sac, it has a maximum of 500 per Laredo Land Development Code. In this case, and I think, in my opinion, that's more for a residential use. But in this case, it's industrial. So we're not asking for a lot more. We're asking for 200 feet more. And I think it'll also provide a little more space before connecting to 255, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Staff's okay with the variance on the?
Is it one of the comments, or you're just talking in general when you go to one?
It's comment number 2 that I included a.
If the variance is granted.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What sort of action would the commission like to take?
Was motion to approve scratching out from comment number 1, provide evidence of coordination during the one-stop shop process. And how do we deal with the variance?
Approving the variance.
Approving the variance.
And adjusting comment.
And adjusting comment number 2. 700 feet, right? 700 feet.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Salapaz.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wang. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Moving on to item 8C. Preliminary reconsideration of the plat of Sapphire Industrial Park Phase 3. The intent is industrial. The purpose of this reconsideration is to reconfigure lots and acreage.
Yes, sir. For the record, the applicant is Provident Realty Advisors. Engineer is Topside Civil Group. Proposed use is industrial. The zoning for this 4-lot development is M1. Location view. aerial view, the proposed plat. I don't know if
Comments from planning?
the proposed action, staff comments, planning, fire, parks and leisure, and the proposed motion.
Thank you. Yes.
A ver, muñeco.
Ricardo Villarreal with Topside Civil Group. I don't know why I went before Oscar. Now I'm like, so there has been some developments since the agenda came out. I do have a letter from Emerald Riverview.
We have it.
That staff got forwarded to staff. It's basically saying that we can move forward with the plat. Provident is under contract for it, and in the contract documents, it allows for certain things to happen. Hey, go ahead and get preliminary plat to see, where everything happens. So I think that was the key point in the denial. Just for the record, the reason this is being reconsidered, Luis, can you go back to the plat? And while you go back to it, I'm just gonna give. I know we're in the library, but.
¿Qué estás haciendo, muñeco?
So this letter basically complies with that first paragraph that's underlined in bold. So in this case, we approve the.
Yeah. Okay. And the reason for the reconsideration is after we got preliminary plat approval, we started doing all our due diligence. There's some possible jurisdictional wetlands in this area. On September 1st, it's not the floodplain issue, it's the wetland issue, but just possible. On September 1st, there was new guidelines to determine what actually is a wetland. Since then, and my legal jargon, please, Danny, don't, stab me on this. I think there's like a temporary injunction on the new rules, right, that go into effect either by the states that happen. So the rules don't go into effect September 1st. They still have to be heard at, in our judicial system. And once those get released, then the new jurisdictional rules come out, which we would be able to develop this area. But because it is right now, we're taking it out. And then once the new ruling comes in, that doesn't become wetlands, we add it back. So.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this letter is making the owner of the property
Yes.
responsible?
No, so
Or
it
what?
gives it, so the applicant is Provident, right? But the owner of the property, what staff wanted is make sure that the owner of the property is okay for us to come.
Knows.
And yeah, that knows that we're coming in preliminary. So in an effort to appease them, we have a letter from the owner allowing us to proceed.
We have a letter from the owner, and we also spoke to the engineer of record for the owner, so that there's talk between the two engineers, so we're good.
Okay.
Do you have evidence of that?
Huh? I have pictures, we went to.
Do you have WhatsApps or something? Okay.
Denial is such a harsh word.
It is.
I
Such a
know.
harsh word.
No,
Don't see it too often.
When I read it, I thought you were like, just,
I was,
just
But you're okay
giving
with all the
side
other
eye.
comments?
yeah, I'm just,
No problem with the other comments?
no, we concur with the other comments.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve subject to the comments now that it's been approved.
So we have a motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Moving on to consideration of the following final plats and final replats.
Todos juntos?
Yes, if I can hear, and I'll entertain a motion to hear them all together.
Move to hear all of them. 9A,
9A,
9B, 9C, 9D. ¿Y qué más? 10A?
No.
Second.
Excuse me,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, 9C,
Yes?
the applicant asked to table that one.
Okay.
So if you can table that.
All right, so let's hear
Let's-
first the motion to hear 9A, B, and D together.
D, together.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Against, motion carries. Can I now have a motion of action on those three items?
Motion to table C.
No.
No. Motion to approve.
Right now, we're doing
We're-
Do you have to read them, no?
Well, first we got.
Motion to approve,
9A,
subject to comment.
9B,
9A, 9B, 9D.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve items 9A, 9B, 9D by Commissioner Sala-Paz,
Second.
second by Commissioner Wang. All in favor?
All right.
Against? Motion carries. Can we now read those items
sir.
into record?
For the record, final consideration of the plat of North Laredo Industrial Park Phase 5 approved. Final consideration of the plat of Lot 4, Block 2, Alexander Commercial Subdivision Phase 15 approved. Final consideration of the replat of Lot 29 D5 acre subdivision into Lot 29A and Lot 29B D5 acre subdivision approved. Those are the ones that.
Thank you.
went
Now, can we have the motion to, we have a motion table item 9C.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Now going on to the reconsideration of the following final plats and final replats, item 10A. Can I have a final reconsideration of the plat of North Webb Industrial Park Phase 3, Part B? The intent is industrial. The purpose of this reconsideration to modify a plat note. Can I have a motion action on this item?
Motion to, I know, What is it? Motion to approve?
You have a motion to approve?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Casares. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Do we have any director's comments?
No, I do not.
Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'm so moved.
Okay, we have this motion, second by Commissioner Rangel. All in favor? Against, motion carries. We are adjourned.
I'd like to thank our